ask.
Mayor, here's the. Okay, sound good? If I can just take a point of personal privilege, just say that I would add, as to the qualities of leadership that I greatly admire about you. I think it's elements of your character of strength, courage, integrity, loyalty, and grit. So kudos to you. If you can raise your right hand, please, to the other right hand. There you go. Left hand on the Bible. Right hand? Okay. And
I do solemnly affirm, I, Karyn Cunningham, do solemnly affirm that I will support, protect, and defend the Constitution and government of the United States, of the state of Florida and of the village of Palmetto Bay,
that I am duly qualified to hold office under the Constitution of the state, and I will well and faithfully perform the duties of office of mayor, which I am now about to enter. Congratulations. We have another special one. You want to do it?
Sure. I promise to lead the village of Palmetto Bay as a servant for the public good. I will dedicate my term to leading with a vision to serve the interests of our community. In my duty, I hope to be adaptable, act with integrity, and respect the opinions of others. As mayor, I will communicate with clarity, work hard, and uphold my promise to serve the village of Palmetto Bay. That was awesome.
Well, first of all, thank you. And thank you for all that have joined this evening. I truly am humbled and honored to have the opportunity to serve for another 4 years. And I really would like you to give yourselves a round of applause. I'm very, very appreciative of everyone's time and talent. So give it up for the residents of Palmetto Bay. So in classic style, we had Councilwoman Matson. You did a great job. And you spoke just as you would on the dais, right? We kind of like to get everything in. Patrick was short and to the point, and I'm going to speak just a little bit longer. I would say break out the popcorn, but go ahead and get yourself settled in because I've got quite a bit to say. Hopefully, I'll say it in the best way that I can. And I also want to take a moment. Thank you, State Representative Alina Garcia, for joining us this evening. I know we're looking forward to meeting with you coming up along with Senator Catalud here at Village Hall to talk about all things Palmetto Bay as we're moving forward. And I would be remiss, but she's going to get her own welcome in just a short time with closing remarks. Mayor Daniela Levine Cava, my friend, my mentor. She's like, I don't know if I want that, Karyn. No thanks. You lead by great example, and I will say I am so appreciative all during the campaign. I know it's very difficult when you have neighbors, right, that are running and things get a little bit tough. But every time I met you, every time I saw you at an event, you recognized me as my mayor. And just know, here in this room, with all of these folks, you are our mayor, and I thank you for being here tonight. It means a lot to me. Let's give her a round of applause. She'll be speaking in just a few moments. So again, thank you. Like Patrick mentioned, we ran a grassroots campaign with volunteers and workers that are neighbors and friends, and many of them are here today. I do want to say thank you to my nothing short of amazing family. My brother Ken, who's in Chicago this evening and couldn't be with us. My very protective big sister, whom I love very, very much, Catherine, right here in the front. And to my nephew, some of you might have seen him. I think he had to step out for a few moments. Cameron and my nephew Brennan as well, who's watching from home in Charleston. Mom and Dad, I think, would be so very proud of all of us and how we all come together during thick and thin. And there was a lot of thick and there was a lot of thin during this campaign cycle. I thank you guys for your unconditional support and for keeping me grounded in good things. And as Ken had mentioned to me, my brother, I guess around Thanksgiving, he was like, thank goodness you're back to your somewhat normal self. So I love you guys very much. To my beautiful daughter, Megan, who I think is tuned in. I know she's tuned in at home, and she was FaceTimed in for the swearing in. And her husband, Rusty, who they got married in May. They couldn't be here today, obviously, and we're joining by way of FaceTime. They were really constant reminders to me that I had the love of this community right up until the results came in. And it really lifted me because I think when you're in the thick of it, you don't see things as clearly, and I see some smiling faces that also helped keep me very, very grounded during this time. On election night, Megan made her way from Coral Reef Elementary over to St. Richard's, where I was, and it was raining right at the end. I don't know if you all remember election night, but it was raining, and it was raining hard. And we were standing under an umbrella together, and I will say she called it. She said, Mom, there's not going to be a runoff. And I said, yeah, I don't want you to be disappointed in me. There's going to be a runoff. And she said, I don't think you can see it because you're right here, and it's the atmosphere at this location is very different. But every location that we've been to all day has been extremely uplifting and happy, and there's not going to be a runoff. So I want to say that she called it. I know some other folks think they called it too, but a special thanks to my friend and neighbor, Mitch Mandler. Thank you for swearing me in for a second time. And for tolerating all kinds of shenanigans on 72nd Court over the course of time. And the manager is right over here if you want that police car back. I told you, just speak to the manager because Mitch is a big advocate for that police car in our neighborhood. And our very dear family friend, Judge Walsh, who has now sworn me in 3 times. So I know you have an extremely busy schedule. I love you, Lisa. Thank you so much. You are definitely an extended part of our family, and I'm honored to have you here again this evening. So thank you. A big shout out I want to say to Audrey. And Audrey, you interviewed me, didn't you? Yeah, we did while I was on the campaign trail. As a matter of fact, I brought my sneakers so you could see that they really were. We had a conversation. I don't remember what it was, but I think you were talking about leadership. And I appreciated that, and I appreciate the award-winning swearing in with leadership qualities tonight. I think it's super important. The requirement, as we mentioned in your leadership class, it really just sets a minimum bar. Thank you for holding me to a higher bar. I also want to give a shout out to my friends at Palmer Trinity School that are here this evening. I know we send our condolences to Patrick. I know his dad recently passed away. But Suzanne and the team, I'm so honored to have you all here. Once a Falcon, always a Falcon. I'm not actually a Falcon mom. You're always a Falcon mom, so thank you for being an extended part of my family. You've heard me say many times over the course of the last 8 years, and it was something my mom always said to us, was you can never say thank you enough. And I know this is going to be long and tedious, so if you have to go someplace and plan your grocery list or something while I'm going through this very long list of supporters and friends, but I want to take time to thank and recognize them. So very important. These folks really brought unwavering support believed in me many times when I was doubting myself, and stood with me for months preceding the election. You know, campaign work is extremely difficult for those of you who have served, and we have a lot of folks here that have volunteered on many, many campaigns. But when you have the good friends around you and great family, I think it really helps to lift you. We braved the heat, we braved the rain, we braved the mosquitoes, and we braved the naysayers, knocking on doors, making phone calls, text messages, all ensuring that no vote went unturned. These are in no particular order, and I know there is some peril in going through a long list of names because inadvertently I will forget somebody. So if I leave you out, I'm so sorry. Know that my heart is in the right place, but these are folks that stepped up quite frequently during the campaign. So to Harry and Debbie Narenberg, Tana and Leo Genus, my friends at Community Newspaper, Michael and Grant Miller. And Grant, thank you. I know you have a very, very busy schedule. Thank you for being here this evening. Henry Clifford, I saw was here a little bit. The Galls, my auctioneer friend, the Galls. Appreciate that, Jim. The Gordons, Dave Zisman, who also helped with my signage. Thanks, Patrick. The O'Hagans, Andrea and Rob. I know Rob is here somewhere representing. I know Andrea couldn't be with us this evening. Annette and Steve Katz, who are watching from home. Chuck and Donna Latchaw. I love you guys to pieces. Thank you, thank you, thank you for treating me like family. I really appreciate it. Barbara and Don Waters, the Arango family I saw just a little bit ago. Thank you. Marta Gillette, Susan and Victoria Admire, Jim and Nikki Woodard, Lynn and Steve Signori, Tom and Karen Yulee, Andrea Loring and Marvin Dunn, Raul and Nancy Martinez, Vice Mayor John Dubois, who wasn't able to be here this evening, Ralph Gazitua and your beautiful wife Cookie and your family. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Joe Beer, Tamara and her husband Joe, which I saw a little bit earlier. Tamara's the president of the PBBA. I also want to give a shout out to Chamber South, Brittany Besant, awesome supporters. Brittany's not here because tonight's her birthday, so if you're watching, Brittany, happy birthday. The Gomez family, the Murins, Kelly Fullerton, Robert Batchen, Bill Richards, the Bolts, the Paredes family, the Nicolini family, the Baez Wallace family, Micha Hawkins, Jim Shedd, who stood at one of the polling places with my sister most of the day, the Hernandez family, Justin Kletcha, who I know Patrick mentioned, the Hernandez family. Oh, they got it in twice. Sorry about that. The 87th Avenue crew, I want to thank the Veras, the Snyders, Dara Vorse, Morellis, the Hutchins, the Werschwills, Renee Reichling, Meg Lopez, the Landows, the Sondones, the Nunez family, Brick Peoples, who is a very, very dear friend, George Polito and his family, Claudia Uribe, Carmen and Matthew Baker, the Lugos, and then Coach Joe Scott. I saw you here. Coach, thank you. And 143rd Street, Manny, thank you so much. And your entire block, as I was mentioning to you before, sometimes on the hard days, I drive through my own neighborhood where there were a lot of signs. I'd also come down your street, 143rd Street. I'm like, I'm going to take a spin down 143rd Street and lift myself up a little bit. Stanley Calasar and beautiful Miriam, I really can't thank you enough for the countless number of meals. I'm not going to mention the glasses, but there were long days of campaigning, and there would always be a text that would say, hey, we're fixing dinner. Do you want to come by? Or when you're done, as Stanley likes to say, harassing the neighbors, come on over, meet us at Anna Capri. I appreciate that. I also appreciate the fact that I know that I was in your daily prayers, like so many residents in the village. To Gary Pastorella and our former mayor, two formers ago, but you have stayed actively involved, Shelley Stanzik, and to former council member Howard Tendrich. I'm super appreciative. I don't think you all know the impact that you had. I hope you know the impact that you had in correcting the record when there was so much misinformation. You sent out, Gary, I know you sent out countless emails to counter a lot of mailers, text messages, and all kinds of stuff on social media. Howard, I know you're passionate about several things here in the village, and you made sure to step up each time sending something out to the community to correct the record. I'm very, very grateful. To Harrison Tellum, who is not here. Oh, Harrison is here. All right, Harrison. I love it. You're zoomed in or FaceTimed in. Listen, buddy, I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. You are really an amazing, I can see him. You are really an amazing young man, but most importantly, we got off to a start. We'll call it a start because every new friendship has a little bit of a start. And you got to kind of figure each other out. But it was really just within the course of a few weeks, my vision became your vision. My passion became your passion. You're an amazing young man. I know your dad. Your mom is sitting here beaming from ear to ear. I saw her show you that toothy grin. But I know your dad is beaming from heaven above. So proud of the man that you have become. I consider you a friend, and I'm just really glad to have had some small part in your journey because great things are going to happen with you, Harrison. Tell him, mark my words. I said it tonight. So you really conducted yourself, even when things got a little out of hand, not from us, but conducted yourself in a manner that I think every resident in this community can be proud of. And you're only 17. Has he already turned 18? No. You're only 17 years old. So give Harrison a round of applause. I love you, man. To the rest of the team, Valentina, Jesse, Yoli, Irma, Nelson, each one of these folks pushed extremely hard. They left no vote unturned. Well, they must have, because not everybody voted for me. But they really left no vote unturned. They worked very hard. My success is their success, and I'm very appreciative. To my longtime friend, and political advisor. You met my spiritual advisor over here and political advisor over here. Notice they're sitting on opposite sides. I don't know what that means, but we've known each other for, it's got to be at least 20 years in my work with United Teachers of Dade. Your team at Edge Communications, I'm so appreciative, and I'm even more honored to have you here today. You kept me focused and kept me keeping the white noise out. I know we've had a lot of conversation. I'm surprised you're still talking to me, actually. I know we had a lot of conversations. There were a lot of text messages, a lot of phone calls, even bumped heads a couple of times, right? But I needed that. And I think it helped to kind of calm me down, yet push me forward. So I thank you. I love you as well. And I really am appreciative that you're here this evening. To my colleagues, our charter officers, and if I could get them to stand. Yes, please stand. Nick, Missy, John De La Gloria. Let's give them a round. I told you everybody likes you guys more. Yeah, every time I do that, we get the chant. I almost feel like there's going to be a chant. Listen, I have 2 words for you. No runoff. Because I don't know how much longer you could have tolerated me. Listen, navigating the world between politics and good government can be extremely difficult, and you all do it with class. You do it with grace. You yell at me once in a while, but it's all good. You do it very, very well. I felt extremely well supported by your friendship and your words of encouragement. I'm sorry that I sniveled just a little bit. When Christian wouldn't pick up the phone, and sometimes I'd call one of you. Listen, you represented the people well. You didn't let me get caught up in the negative noise. I thank you for all you do for the great people of the village. I'm grateful for your friendship. And more importantly, I am looking forward to serving with you all for the next 4 years. So thank you guys very much. To Commander Guerra, I'm glad you walked in or nearby at this moment. Lieutenant Rodriguez and Sergeant Rubio and your entire department, I thank you for your professionalism and the care that you brought when handling my safety concerns. Again, I'll mention to Mitch, if you want that police car, we have the commander at the back. Just mention it, pointing out, highlighting all the folks for you. My safety concerns during the campaign. Listen, nobody should be bullied or physically threatened when they're running for office, just as no resident should be put in that same position. You and your team, I know you see residents every single day and address concerns every single day, but you and your team, especially during those final 4 or 5 days when I have to say, was becoming a little unnerved and frazzled, and I'm not ashamed to say that. You and your team treated me as though I were your mother. Well, I hope not your mother, but I guess I could be someone's mother, sister, spouse, family member, and for that I am eternally grateful. You are very good friends. You are a part of my extended family as well. I thank you very much. Let's give them a round of applause. I'm sorry, I told you I have a lot to say, so I'm just at the thank you part now. So to our Vice Mayor, Leanne Tellum, just so you know, Harrison's disappeared from that picture, so. And he raised his hand. And Councilmember Cody, I just want to say thank you for your wisdom. Thank you for your endorsements. Those were very valuable and meaningful to me. And thank you for the number of people that you brought to the table. I know there wasn't a day that went by that you weren't doing outreach, connecting with folks, having conversations with folks. And while I might not have always agreed with the way in which some of the messaging got out, I think in many respects, you helped people to understand, whether it was having a conversation, doing a meet and greet, or sending out a video. I think you really connected with folks to help them understand what was happening in our village. And I can honestly say I don't think I could have been able to do it without you. Leanne, I know I sat when I wasn't at Stanley's counter, I was at your counter, so appreciative of that. To my very, very dear friend, almost like a brother, Patrick, I don't really know if I could have made it through the 2 weeks of early voting without you. Yeah, don't cry, please. Don't cry. Don't cry. You're going to make me cry. Well, first of all, every morning I got cafecito, which, I really appreciated. He would pull up. I know he likes he's got his Cuban spot that he goes to and would bring me a coffee. I guess I kind of grew to expect it each morning. There was one morning Patrick came and I was like, wait, he's not walking across with coffee. You have to cross 152 Street. And he got there and he was like, I'm so sorry, I'll bring extra. The line was really long and I didn't have time to wait. Listen, I really appreciate you. I'm glad there wasn't a runoff and I didn't have to turn to you to ask for your endorsement as well. But I think in a large part, the reason why I'm standing here today goes back to 2014. Decisions were made, a spot opened up for me, and I'm really grateful for that opportunity to continue service, but also to have had the opportunity, because heaven knows I would not run against Councilmember Fiore. We know how that works out. So I thank you, and all I can say is FIA, and that's all I got. So I'm grateful for the support and endorsements from many organizations and friends who have had the opportunity to work with me through the years. The former state representative, Vance Lupus, Alina is filling his big shoes. Our former school board member, Dr. Larry Feldman, Aventura Mayor Enid Weissman, Village of Pinecrest Mayor Joe Cordino, the former mayor of Key Biscayne, now Mike Davey, Councilwoman Anna Hokemer from Pinecrest, Barbara Slesnik, former councilwoman, commissioner from Coral Gables, our former vice mayor, Brian Pariser, in addition to John Dubois, Howard, who I mentioned a little bit ago, the former Pinecrest council members, James McDonald and Bob Ross, former superintendent Octavio Viciedo, the president of the AFL-CIO, who happens to be a resident here in the village, Jeff Mitchell, Miami Realtors, the professors of United Faculty, Save LGBTQ+, the transportation workers, IBEW, the crane operators. No, I'm not bringing any cranes into Palmetto Bay, but they are a union, and I have a long history with them. And as Patrick mentioned, I know the South Florida Police Benevolent Association rarely gets involved with small town politics, but they did step up for both Patrick and I, and I'm very grateful to Stedman Stahl and Vice President David Greenwell. I also want to do a little bit of a shout out to my boss, President of United Teachers of Dade. She's not here this evening, but I do thank her and her leadership team. It's hard when you're an employee and you have to walk away from work for several months, which I did. I took a leave of absence, and I'm super grateful for their encouragement, support, and of course the endorsement of my peers. To the almost 300 residents and local businesses that contributed to my campaign, and the almost 750 residents and businesses that hosted yard signs. I know they say that signs don't vote, but there's nothing more uplifting when you're a candidate than driving through a community and seeing signs to let you know that there are people out there rooting for you. For all of these folks, all I say is thank you. Given the political climate, this election cycle in Palmetto Bay, it really took great courage for people to speak up, stand up, and put their name to a candidate. Your courage was contagious. It helped me every single day. Thank you. I don't take any of the endorsements, both from the residents, the businesses, and all these great organizations for granted. Thank you. Thanks. Sorry, I did this at the State of the Village as well. Sorry about that. Now, about this election. I think it's safe to say that this was the most expensive and nastiest campaign that the residents of the village of Palmetto Bay have had to endure, in the history of the village, in a 20-year history. I'm sorry, these are not tears of anguish. I've been getting over a cold for 3 weeks. For nearly 4 years, developer-funded PACs have spread lies and misinformation in this community. I'm going to say it again. For 4 years, my entire first term as your mayor, developer-funded PACs have spread lies and misinformation in this community. Shame on them. Through the course of the 4 years, I have tried to deal with each of these attacks head on. But at some point, unfortunately, there's not enough time, there's not enough money to correct all the misinformation. And frankly, that's exactly what they wanted. The election cycle outside, in this election cycle, outside interests spent over $250,000 in a small town campaign to unseat 2 sitting elected officials. $250,000. Yes, big thumbs down. You can all give thumbs down, because that is, as Patrick pointed out, that probably is one of the biggest distractions, and it discourages good people, probably people that are sitting right here, from wanting to run for public office. Nobody wants to have to endure the kind of public, constant humiliation inside a campaign cycle and outside a campaign cycle. But what I'm proud to say is that this community is educated, this community is engaged, and this community knew better. And for that, I am very, very grateful. Sixty-seven percent of this community rejected those negative ads. This applause is for all of you. Together, you sent a resounding message. Palmetto Bay is not for sale. Now, I have to tell you, I'm a bit of a realist too, and my family can tell you that. I know that there's a couple of folks that are just never going to go away, and I accept that. They're not going to stop. They're not going to stop. I've had this conversation actually with many friends here. They thrive on negativity. They thrive on tearing people down. They thrive on creating a negative atmosphere. in our village. But I stand before you tonight and commit that Palmetto Bay is not for sale, not today, not tomorrow, not ever on my watch. And I ask you, and I ask each and every resident, those that are sitting here, those that are visiting and passing through, because it's only a short time until you're added to that email list, I'm sure, and those that are watching from home, get your information from reliable sources. If you don't want to talk with me or you don't want to talk with a member of the council, pick up the phone, have the conversation with Manager Morano. Call Village Clerk Arocha. Talk to your next door neighbor. Have conversations with people. Ask for reliable forms of information so that you are as informed as 67% of the community is. For those that did not vote for me, why? No, I'm kidding. I'm sorry, that was so tense. I said, let me do a little icebreaker here. I'm just kidding. I do. I look forward, as I said in 2018, I look forward to meeting with you. I know I see a lot of appointments coming in for Friday. I have mayor's in hours on Friday afternoon. I look forward to chatting with folks. I want to hear your ideas. Please reach out to one of the five of us and have the discussions. Anyone, we are one vote here. Anyone can bring an item forward. Anyone can bring your thoughts and ideas for discussion here in these chambers. The electoral process can be emotional and passionate, but with the elections now behind us, I ask that we start to turn our attention to coming together as a community and refocus on the challenges and issues as we move forward together. As we open this next chapter in Palmetto Bay, it is my pleasure to welcome back Councilmember Patrick Fiore and Councilwoman Matson to the Village Council. I don't know who that is, but I'm bringing you on the road show with me. I love it. Together, along with my friend, Vice Mayor Leanne Tellum and Councilmember Cody, we will continue to work to ensure that government remains inclusive, responsive, and respectful. Palmetto Bay has always prided itself as a welcoming small town where residents are able to escape the stresses of everyday life and enjoy families along with our beautiful parks, great schools, and the many recreational opportunities our community has to offer. The typical home value, thank you, Mr. Manager, in the village of Palmetto Bay is now almost $1 million. The average home value in the village is almost $1 million. These home values have gone up 33% in just the last year. Buying a home is one of the best long-term investments you can make. Not possible for everybody, but for most homeowners in the village, the purchase of their home is their biggest investment. I see the Vice Mayor nodding. It was mine when Megan's dad and I relocated to our home from just west of Pinecrest in 1995 and remains our biggest investment almost 30 years later. The purchase of my home meant stability, and frankly, it meant I made it, right? I had moved into the big time. I like that you laughed a little, sister. Thank you. Over the next 4 years, I'm going to continue to work to protect your investment here in the village. As I walked and drove the streets of our village during the campaign, listening to residents, whether they lived in single-family homes or in multi-family units right here in the downtown area, the one thing that resonated with me was people's desire to maintain this village vibe while providing more amenities, dining, and specialty retail. I look forward to continuing to work with our small business community and associations and chambers to help attract and retain more businesses that will enhance the quality of services residents are looking for and build in jobs to keep South Dade from having to travel north to get to work. That begins right here in our downtown area where transit-oriented development belongs. I will continue to prioritize the safety of our residents and your quality of life. Last week, I met with the village manager and commander to talk about the continued safety issues on some of the streets due to speed and volume of cut-through traffic. This year, we added a new police officer as a part of our budget. I have requested that we use the additional police officer to provide enforcement to some areas that are suffering the most from our morning and afternoon commuters. I will continue to enhance and improve bicycle and pedestrian mobility. We have increased our budget through our Street by Street program, and I say that because it's something that was implemented and then augmented by this village manager. It was implemented in 2018 after I got elected, adding significant dollars for street paving and sidewalks. But I have recommended an assessment of all of our streets where residential neighborhoods abut commercial areas and in areas where our beloved schools are, so that so that we can work to create a street design that not only enhances the look of our community, but slows traffic to keep our residents safe. And I did want to give a shout out to my friend, I don't know if he's watching, Mr. Kestel, Bill Kestel at home. We had a very, very long conversation, and I can say this is a really great example of folks that don't always agree with you, but that sit and have coffee on their front porch. And I was very appreciative of that. So, Mr. Kestel, if you're watching, this includes our crosswalks. Got it, Mr. Manager? Yeah. But, yeah. A good guy. By evaluating streetscape conditions, our village will maintain its fresh and pristine image, increasing our property values and making Palmetto Bay an even more attractive place to live. I will continue to support and enhance our parks. We know that our parks are important to residential quality of life. And as we wrap up our Parks Master Plan, I'm so sorry, that's not very attractive, but apologize. The result would be worse than what I just did. As we wrap up our Parks Master Plan, which I believe is this week on December 8th, we're having a meeting at Palmer Trinity. Is that correct? Thank you for partnering with us to do that. That we will move swiftly to implement larger projects like the Coral Reef Rec Room and use our dollars to purchase property in collaboration with the county to create small neighborhood park spaces, which, as we know, also increase home values, and these are also a part of our Parks Master Plan. I want residents and visitors alike to know exactly where they are when they enter our village. From streets design to signage, from garbage receptacles to bus benches, I want to have the look and feel of the outstanding high-end community that you have made your biggest investment in. And as all of this, I believe, can be accomplished without increasing taxes, I'm waiting for the big nod. Okay, I got the big nod and the thumbs up. Now that we have our fiscal house in order. These are just a few of my priorities as I take my seat for the second term as your mayor. This is my last swearing in. It is. I know some people, there's at least 33% that are cheering, yay! But this is my last swearing in. I'm sure there'll be other colleagues that are sworn in after me, but it's my last swearing in serving on this council, and it will be my last term. I'm excited for the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead, how we deal with future development, environmental concerns, traffic, and transit will continue to impact our quality of life here in the village. I will continue to work hard and will do so with joy and wisdom and friendship and optimism. I couldn't be prouder to represent our amazing community, and I look forward to what lies ahead. Together, we will continue the journey to move our village forward while preserving its history. And together, we will make Palmetto Bay a better place to live, work, learn, and play. God bless each of you, and God bless Palmetto Bay.